Hello, my name is Tessa Asquith-Lamb and I'm one of the artists who work on the Gallery Social programme at the National Galleries of Scotland. Today I'm going to show you how to make a paper collage inspired by Jan Van Huysum's still life with a bird's nest, hopefully with things you've got around the house. Things you will need are some scissors, some glue, maybe some coloured pencils, but definitely some different coloured pieces of paper, either backs of old envelopes, magazines, bits of wrapping paper, anything you've got. I've also got a dark background to work on because in the Van Huysum there are a beautiful dark background that the colours really sing up against. So the first thing I'm going to make is the urn to go at the bottom of the picture. Here's a piece of brown paper. I'm going to fold that in half like a greetings card. And I'm going to take one of my pencils and I'm going to draw half an urn using the fold as the middle. Okay, I'll show you that. Here's the shape, and then I'm going to cut that out. And cutting things on the fold is a really good trick. You can make love hearts or butterflies or anything that's nice and symmetrical. You can use this trick of cutting on the fold. And so when I open that up, I've got my urn. So I'm going to put some glue onto there. Plenty on. I'm going to stick that down at the bottom of my paper. That's about in the middle. So the next thing I need is some stems that my flowers are going to be attached to, and I've cut some sort of twiggy stems like this. Looks a little bit like a piece of seaweed. I'm going to put some glue on the back of that, and I'm going to stick that on top of my urn and press that up like that so it looks like the stems of the cut flowers are coming out of the urn. And next we're going to need some leaves, and leaves are nice things to cut, so you just need some green paper and you're going to cut a curve from one direction like this and a curve from the other direction to meet it in the middle. And then you've got your leaf shape. And if you fold that in to the point, that'll give you quite a nice three-dimensional leaf. I'll put a bit of glue on the back of there and start to add my leaves. There's one. Now I've cut out lots of leaf shapes already, which you can do later. And some of them I've kind of painted like veins on them as well. And I've tried to get lots of different shapes of leaves in different colours of green. And that might be a nice thing to do, is find all the different colours of green that you can find in amongst your old wrapping paper or from magazines. So you can see I'm just sort of adding these where I think there's a bit of a gap, but of course we're going to put some flowers on here soon, so it's going to really look much better once we get some colours in there. Right, I'm going to put these here, and then I'm going to mirror that curving shape and have another curvy leaf coming out that way, so you can see it's sort of going like this. Maybe a few more. Now you can also have a few that kind of come over the edge of the urn like that. That looks quite good. So next we need some flowers. Now the flower shapes I make out of whatever colour paper you fancy for your flower. And petal shapes are usually like quite a sort of big wide teardrop shape like this. And if you want, you could paint a few sort of veins or lines on top of there with your colours. And then stick several of these together to make your shape. So this is a poppy that I've made with some different colours. I'm going to add my really bright red petal to that. And I'm going to stick that up near the top because I think the poppy is quite close to the top in the actual painting. And I'm going to make a tulip next. This is a tulip that I've made in a similar way, and I've used different colours of sort of orange for that one. I'm going to stick that one on this stalk. So you see where all the little stalks are coming in handy now. This is a picture I've cut out from a print. I'll stick that in there. And this is a kind of a rose that I've made just by sort of painting on a bit of paper, just a swirl. That will hopefully make a rose to go sort of down here. So I'm going to show you a different way to make a rose now. It's quite fun. So for this you're going to need whatever colour paper you want for your rose. I've chosen this red, and I cut out a circle, very rough, ovally circle, and you cut in from the middle in a kind of wonky spiral. That's the best way to describe it. Like that. And if I put some glue on the middle and the edge, so right on the middle of that spiral and on the edge, and if I start curving it in like this and then stick those pieces together, hopefully what I'll get is a little rose. They're quite satisfying to make, so you can make a few of those. And if you want, you could put some colour on top of it as well, and then decide where there's a bit of a gap where you want that. So probably I want it down here in my picture. That looks good. I've got another one here. Depends how many of these you like. I might want one of those up there, just sort of peeping out. That looks cool. I got a bit carried away with these and made 3. I'm going to put one up there, yeah, or maybe there. Cool. And then I've cut out some little pieces as well, like little tiny flowers. And these are in different sort of quite bright colours. And I thought if I add a few of these in amongst some of the kind of gaps, let's see where I can focus a few in. It'll just liven it up a little bit, won't it? Let's add maybe a little blue one down here. And I've cut some really bright red little flowers as well. And I'm going to have those where it looks like it needs a bit of a cheering up. I'm going to put one of those down here. Let's come off. Where else needs a bit of red? Oh. Down here, my blue one. Yeah. And then the last thing to make is of course a bird's nest. So I've cut an oval from brown paper, and I've put some little sort of twigs around the side made out of other bits of brown paper. And then I've cut a smaller oval out of black paper and filled it with 5 eggs, because there's 5 eggs in the Van Huysum. Put some glue on that. And if I stick the black oval over the brown oval, that should make our bird's nest. And I'm going to add that where it is in the painting down here. So I think it's nearly there. I might just add a couple more leaves where I think one might look good. Maybe a little darker leaf down here. Yeah. That's good. Just building up all my layers until I'm happy with it. And then the last thing I'm going to do is add a butterfly. So as we know, the Van Huysum's covered in insects, but I've just got time to make a butterfly. So I've got some pale blue paper, folded it in half again, and I'm going to draw half my butterfly shape again onto the paper. I'm going to quickly cut that out. Speedy cutting today. And then little butterfly. And then I'm going to just trim him a bit. And then I'm going to put him, where will I put him? To put him maybe here, in the middle of the flowers. So that's my flower still life inspired by Jan Van Huysum's Still Life with a Bird's Nest, made from bits of paper I had at home.